Yorik's not bad. Yorik is meant to say, you want to pick a tank, this will be anti-tank. Doesn't matter that we're full AD, this will be fine. You are still putting full AD into a Scion. If Hoya doesn't get a lot of value, that's a problem. Azir doesn't have that much priority in LPL? Not compared to LCK. Not compared to LCK, no. Let me check, actually. Where is Azir on this? I mean, Azir is still 42% prio score. Just pretty high still, actually. No, Azir is still up there, I think. Wait, what is that for? Is that for LPL? Oh no, that's not. Hang on, wait, that's. Let me refresh that. Is this for? No, it is. Here, if we get some gyros. Alrighty. Nymaera, when does the LPL playoff start? I am not sure, you know. I'm not sure. Oh my god. Angie got me an Uber gift card. An Uber Eats gift card. For food. Are you kidding me? Well, someone's gonna make sure I eat, I guess. Alright, so Invade coming in early from Tarzan. Varus Nautilus, very strong level 1, of course. Don't really want to tangle with that. It is the Comet Varus. Feather went for the crash down early on to make sure that they get the shield there. They have the mount up now. Jack Wongran's going for the blue buff. Should know there's a steal coming in, so use that, level up that Q level 2. Normally you do the W second, but you use the Q to go quickly over to the side of the map, avoid some vision. Steal red buff. Does he get a full quadrant steal off though? Because what Tarzan can potentially do now is go Raptors to Raptors. Because if he goes red Raptors, he can go over to his own Raptors and maybe contest that. Depends on what's happening with the mid lane matchup. Hook misses level 1. Does he stay for Krogs? Okay, not feeling like going towards the Raptors for Raptors. Wants to stay on bot side instead. So TT now have some issues. They have warded Raptors on their own side, so they'll know that Tarzan hasn't left the area. Well, no, they're not certain on that. Xiao Huangren, I think he should have checked Raptors, because if he checks Raptors, you should know whether Tarzan's there. Instead, you don't have any info on the dive. They don't get to back off. Summoners are put down. First blood actually goes over towards Feather on the other side. Tarzan luckily can dive for free, though, with the Neferi passive. 1xN still dies, though. He's going to lose XP. AD carry's losing XP under turret. Kind of sucks. Feather just making sure that Hope doesn't get the free push in towards tower. Wanted to get some damage off of Hope to force him to reset. I wonder whether Xiao Huangren should have gone towards Raptors just to check that get some more info that Tarzan wasn't running there. I guess he would have walked over mid lane anyway. I guess it wouldn't have made much difference there. But the fact that TT weren't prepared for that dive is a problem. You do get the cull onto MF. Reset very early from Hope. AL, pretty much every chance they can, try and throw their bot lane onto the other side of the map. Kyle does have flash if he wants to. You don't have that much damage with the Scion follow up there. You're not killing the Yorick. I think anyone's legend because they have the Scion. Just saying, look, Scion is good in a 1v2. We don't really care. The 3-minute swap. Look, the lane swap detection is now ended. There's no lane swap detection. Scion can go collect this wave on bot side. You have Scion in a 1v2 potentially now, but, I mean, he doesn't care. Because he's a Scion. On the other side, Yorick does care about being in a 1v2. Doesn't want to be behind the pace of the game. So while it's not the level 1 lane swap, you know, you get what you want out of the first couple of levels. Anyone's Legend are the early swapping team within LPL. Much like they were with lane swaps heading towards first stand. They were a very good lane swap team. 24th might be the playoff start, therefore thank you very much for the information. Good to know. Often LPL does have a quick break after the regular season ends. Hey, Vite, good to you. And of course everyone else I didn't say hi to as well. A lot of you in chat now. So Tarzan gets a couple of those mini raptors. Dud did get the first kill. That is not great for the side of TT. You know, Neferi has a lot of setup. You have a Nautilus and a Varus. That is very dedicated setup. The Scion too, of course. Tarzan getting the Q on target. Hoya's walking over. As long as Neferi saves the E though, it's okay. It's going to walk in towards Hoya. Might have to flash. So Hoya, good response there. Flashes over. Dark Procession and Tarzan. Yeah, he's gone too far. Has setup and none of it is present. Didn't have the bot lane pushed in at the right time too. If he does that like 5 seconds later, I think it's fine. Also just think you shouldn't be tanking up the Sejuani E. You should be pressing the E onto the you should be pressing your W to go on target roll for the E cast so it doesn't hit you. I think that was a mistake there by Tarzan. Took way too much damage in that. So now suddenly, and Tarzan, hang on a second, it's the semi-globe of the Sun coming up towards top side. Setup ults into mid lane, but Shanks ults right, but bloody hell, it's a lot of damage. Hang on, another Q might kill him. Q-Tick kept kill off just off cooldown there, even with very low AP. Setup playing very, very close to the wire there. Isn't MSI end of the month? It's end of June. End of June's my birthday as well. I'm gonna be, wait, how old am I this year? I'm 29 this year, folks. 29. 29 years young. Classic greedy Tarzan, just like always recently. He's had a history of that over time. Hang on a second. Ignite dropped onto Xiaohuangren. If he'd cancelled out that dash over the wall, maybe we'd be having a bit of a different conversation. Remember, such a long cooldown that Q early on. Kyle backing himself to get that. Sadly doesn't get it. And I think Kyle's been... Kyle and Tarzan been... inconsistent recently. Been inconsistent. Oh, don't be calling me young. Oh, don't be saying that. Okay. So taking a good hook, taking a hook there. Gonna turn into dust soon? Yeah, I wish. Dust doesn't have to pay taxes, you know. Hope getting slowed by that E. Tarzan coming down now. Doesn't have level 6. Does he need it? Feather. Trying to play disengage and instead locked up. Put down. Anyone's legend. Get themselves a second kill on that bot side of the map. This time goes over to Hope. $29 is not old. It's not old. It's not old. There's too many zoomers on League. Level 6 hit by Tarzan. Off for the last play as well. Does get that W to ignore a tower shot. Hope takes aggro. And that's a very clean dive. But why does Neferi get to do this? Press W, ignore tower aggro. That's for sure very balanced and fair gameplay. 120 years old? Never spoken to an elf. 120's baby in free run years. Ult backwards. Setup. Cancel out his recall, but wants to go on to Shanks. Kyle doesn't have flash. Can they lock him? How much damage have they actually got here? Shanks turning damage around on towards Setup. Kyle will go down. Shanks, I think, made the right choice there to just dump a load of damage onto the Yone. Shanks doing pretty well in the 1v1. Setup, though, you know, confident on the Yone. Feels so young in this chat. Okay. Grub's being started up. Teleport in. Do have that melee synergy between the Sejuani and the Yorick. Flandre's in here. Low health on Feather. Ult not that great for Flandre, but does get a slow. Q cancelled out. Tarzan coming in. Doesn't have the ult, remember. Used that before. Hoya doesn't have flash, though. They'll get knocked up. Who's getting the kill? It is Shanks. And the Pyromaniac in the mid lane gets a little more bang for the buck. It's 2 for 1 in terms of grubs as well. That Neferi targetable is going to get removed soon. I think it should do. Or at least make it not ignore tower shots. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem having a defensive tool. That defensive tool, which allows you to freely tower dive, is way too toxic in pro. Way too toxic in pro. All these fossils knowing how to use Twitch. Reserva, my friend, you are playing a dangerous game. All of us have now learned the Pokemon move Ancient Power, so, you know. If we get the 1 in 10 chance of all of, like, our stats getting doubled, you know, you knew what was going to hit you. You knew in advance. Don't say we didn't warn you. Seven stream streak for Theon. Thank you. Good to see you. Q hitting on Hoya. Remember, Hoya still doesn't have flash. Tarzan's up top, and Tarzan does have ult this time. Jumps into the play. Dark Procession, it's not going to help you from an Eviscerate hopping out of it. Neferi doesn't care. 3 kills on the Neferi. You know, very valid point was brought up in Champion Select by Kazel. Why are we letting this guy have the Neferi? Ult's not cancelled out. Like, really? Why are we letting Tarzan have Neferi? First pick Yone. I get that it's good for setup, but I don't know. Just get rid of the Neferi. Did we not learn anything from the Akali situation and target ability? Or Pantheon E as well, when it could block tower shots? Bro is like late 20s and halfway to 50. Oh, shut up. Don't make me recognize my mortality. Don't do that. You wouldn't do that to me. Huangren doesn't get the ult onto Hope. Panic flash from Hope was almost flashing into that ultimate, actually. You're a 54-year-old computer scientist. I invented Twitch. Jesus, that's hella cool, by the way, Whitebeard. Yes, that's, you know, topical name, I guess. Knockup missing onto Shanks. Stun. Goes onto Feather, which means there's no follow-up from the crash down. Shanks is surviving the 1v2. 28 in a few weeks. I'd say happy birthday in advance, but I'm gonna, you know, I'll say close to the time. Old Pantheon and Power W would block 3 tower shots. That was also too much. Yeah, I mean, both versions of Pantheon blocking tower shots were kind of BS. Yeah, when you... Well, no, I'm pretty sure that it was... Oh, the Empowered W. Yeah. So remember that before you could block a Pantheon shot with... a tower shot with Pantheon passive. W to get another... another one as well. So you could block 2 tower shots with that. It was kind of broken. That was like old rework Pantheon. It was also kind of broken. Tarzan hopping around the map, 3, 1, and 2. Shojin already in, of course. Very, very strong. Okay, TT. There's a dragon up. Can you fight around this? Flandre taking decent damage from Hoy. Now, Dark Perception is a little annoying. I mean, eventually Sion will be able to do... will start to fall behind the Yorick in a 1v1 setting. Trying to kill off the Maiden. Should be able to. Bad Maiden micro from Hoya. You really don't want to be losing that cooldown. Especially with Flandre having no mana. That could have been a real kill trade at some point. So Dragon's gonna get started up. Flandre, I guess he wants to recall and teleport in. Well, I don't know. Do AL need the Yorick to contest? I don't think they do, actually. Shai Huangren does have his ultimate coming up now. Kyle does have flash and ultimate. They want to kill him before that ult comes through. They can't quite. Magnus comes through. Kyle isn't going to die for now, though. Ultimate comes through, but it doesn't land onto the Neferi. The bullet time does land onto Hope, though, but it's not quite enough. Cancelled out. Has to be something else to finish it off. Reset coming through from the Neferi, who does have so much gold. Q lands for the bleed. Is going to be enough. Setup getting some damage down. But he'll die as well to one last Q from Shanks. So what does that end up being? 2 for 1. 80 carry down, mid lane and support on the other side. That is a very fed Neferi, folks. That Neferi is very fed. How did that not go in TT's favor? They used everything onto a Nautilus, and then just didn't have the damage left over. Oh, by the way, the Magnet Storm actually dragged Hope out of that skill shot. That's kind of funny. Look, Tarzan does not take enough damage, bluntly. You know, Tarzan is so fed. They are very lucky that they didn't lose more here, actually. As soon as Tarzan W's through the Yone ult, you start feeling really worried for a TT. My jungler doesn't want to play because he thinks it's bad. Oh, that's so cap. Neferi is good. I mean, I guess in solo queue it's a little bit different. I mean, at that point, it's like, well, could you play Zed and something like that? Shank's getting good. Electrocute, bloody hell, it's a very good Electrocute trade. Malignance is through, which means that cooldown is very, very short. Yorick should have been at the dragon fight. He would have had to recall and then... Wait, did he have teleport at that point? I don't think he did. Also coming through from Tarzan, setup losing the 1v1 versus Shanks and absolutely losing the 1v2 after Tarzan comes up to pick up the scraps. Throw the dog a bone, literally. Corpse of setup going towards the 4-1-4 scoreline of Tarzan. Oh, so Flandre died in the replay. So I guess while we... and Shanks picked up a kill back onto him. So it was a 1v1 just before that. 1-4-1 just before that. Shanks now 3-0-2. 8 stacks on the Dark Seal. This is a very fed Annie. So now, I think Neferi Annie is becoming a very powerful combo, you know. Saw it once in LEC yesterday. Can't remember if we saw it in LPL before that. Yeah, we don't, in Johannes, in this Twitch chat, now it's okay if it's on, like, the Onivia chat or whatever, there's different rules there. But for my Twitch chat, we don't talk about betting because it's kind of ruined the atmosphere at some points before. And so just be respectful, ask tough questions about the game. But, yeah, let's not talk about money talk and stuff like that. No. Alright, Harold's getting started up. Down to half HP. Melee synergy potentially could help if someone melee could actually come over and help the Sejuani with it. Ultimate W'd by the Neferi. Yep, broken champion. And it's a steal. Of course it is. Ultimate missing from the Yone. Kyle buying some time. Bit of a rear guard action. Might die to the bullet time. No, not even that. The Yone then dies. The Feather's going to die afterwards. Those fruits. Yeah, the 5 a day. Not really working out so much for you. Bot side of the map, see if Flandre uses the ult to disengage on bot side. So I'll get Harold, get 2 kills. T to get very little for it. And Hoya doesn't even get to hit the tower. I was laughing my ass off when Hysterics yelled out, Knock Knock is not Korean on LEC last night. Hysterics is very funny. It's like, Knock Knocker doesn't know Korean, think he only knows English and maybe some Turkish. It's a Turkish top laner. We've got a really good current class of Turkish top laners, actually. Broken Blade a lot. He's been back on form a lot, he has, actually. And then, hang on a second. Flandre is very likely to die here, trying to kill off the Maiden. So he'll spot out the team coming back now. Kyle's here. Doesn't have ult, does have Hook and Ignite, though. Damn, that's a lot of money. Never forget the goat Narma. True, he can play Gentleman Gnar, Astronaut Gnar, Elderwood Gnar. Tarzan W3 that ultimate. One of the other reasons it's so broken. Hard engages onto Neferi feel really crap. So they just press W and it doesn't work. And the MF ultimates are just... the setup is just not working for them. Hoya is catching up Kyle in the Dark Procession. 3v3 in bot side. Shanks was thinking about a stun. Chooses not to. Very fed, by the way. Choosing not even to go towards the Leandri. He's going towards what looks like a Shadow Flame instead. My Varus means it's Hope's Varus because I've cheered for him since he was on EDG Trainwreck. Thanks. Shit. Wait, when was Hope on EDG actually? I'm trying to remember that. When was he on there? Because Hope was on FPX for a long time. Of course, JDG for a while before that. Oh, he was there in 21. And before that. Oh, yeah, no, Hope was there for a while. Yeah. That was before, obviously, like, he became LPL champion on JDG. Got to fight on the bot side now. Not really leading to that much, though. 2019 to 2020. Was that before Viper? Yeah, no, I do vaguely remember this now. That was kind of before my time in the LPL, and I don't know why I never went back and watched some of those games. Would have thought for a player like Hope, it's nice to know their history. Satab is sadly not Yorick when it comes... he's actually losing bits of this 1v1, you know. It's Tabby, Sunfire, Bramble Vest onto the Scion. Ult was used onto Hoya on bot side, so we won't be able to defend this turret. And he is so ridiculously strong. He needs to die 8 more times for his power spike. He needs to die, yeah, the problem is, this is the kind of game where, the game will end before you have the luxury of hitting 10 deaths. That's why Yasuo and Yone are just not picked enough. You lose too early. Shanks caught out by the teleport. Hoya flashing over. Dark Procession not quite hitting, but the ghouls will. Hoya commits that flash. Wins a 1v1 to get TT side select for the game. And he's doing, you know what? He's doing alright in the matchup, given how things are going. 3-3. Better than it could be going. Sharp one ground, by the way. Was 3-0-1. Not died on the Sejuani, which is fairly impressive given how badly some of these fights have been going. Fizz E is better, but Fizz has no other wave clear. Yeah, so you basically have to... The thing about Fizz E as compared to Nefari W, they try to use the same logic as... You have to cast this to get offensive value, but you can save it for defensive. So you need to make a choice. You're using it aggressively or defensively. The problem is for Nefari, you don't really need to use it aggressively. Fizz you do. So Fizz's biggest defensive tool is also his biggest aggressive tool. So you need to make that choice very actively. And the doorbell's ringing, so I gotta go get that one. Hopefully no one fights. I gotta go get the doorbell real quick, folks. I believe that's Doobie Angie's gift. Oh well, no one's died. Give that a minute. Go back in a little minute or so. Fizz ET Flash is so OP. It's really hard to dodge that, and yeah, it does do a ton of damage. I do miss Fizz being pro for some reasons. He was a very fun engaged champion. That being said, very frustrating champion all in all, so I guess I haven't missed... No, you know what, actually, I liked playing against Fizz because I learned the matchups, and it was fun to play. Fizz Ari is one of my favorite matchups. Very risky for Ari. You mess up once, he hops over your charm, you die, but it's really cool to play. Gotta go check the door. Did I miss anyone dying again? No, I didn't. Good. I missed Tank Echo too. Ooh, no, Tank Echo. That's not something I miss. Jesus. Have we had any upgrades to the like the not dream capture LPL graph? I will update it just in case it. Oh wait, I can change it a little bit because obviously TT got the what's it call it? They got the win versus Weibo, so they can have actually another arrow pointing away from them for once a little bit. It's in the 1-for-1 now. Fight on the bot side. Nefari not being targeted. Kyle getting caught out Dark Procession. Does have flash. Chooses to ult first into 1xN. We'll play from him to get some disruption as well. Shanks walking up towards Satap, just clearing off that one angle. Tarzan ease over the wall because Nefari has infinite mobility for reasons which I can't quite explain to you all, chat. Minute till Dragon. What was used? Ignite from Feather, Flash from Kyle, Ult from Kyle. Atakan now started, not on the Dragon. TT wanted to take the immediate reward. Flandre could ult into the play. Well, I mean, they are in position to contest, and now TT, they're the ones getting a little bit shredded. That's a great cancel onto the Rel combo. Not sure if he meant it. The Atakan goes down. Yone ult goes wild. Oh, bloody hell, he's just completely destroyed. It's going to be another kill onto Hoya as well. So it's going to be Atakan for 2. That cancel onto Feather's combo by Kyle, I don't know whether that was intended, but that was so clutch. The hook stops the Rel going into the backline. Insanely important moment there. Feather, if he got the clean combo, that could have changed a lot of different things. Being a jungler without a wall hop is just pain. Hey, J4 does have a wall hop, it's just you have to use all of your damage to do that. So what happens here? This is insane. Is this... No, he sees the ward. No, he sees it there. That is insane from Kyle. That is so insane. You know, if you manage to catch out Nefari a little longer, the bullet time gets another couple of waves. You get the damage from the Rel combo in there too. Maybe you stop the Nefari from resetting. Oh, Kyle. That's insane. Also, thank you, Angie, so much for the food. It means an awful lot. Thank you. There's a salmon sandwich and an iced coffee. Drink iced coffee. This Annie Nefari combo is... I think this is going to be meta for... This is going to be meta until there are significant nerfs, I think. Do the resist shred disappear as fast as Asakan is dead? It does linger. It does linger. It's got like a debuff like the Baron or Herald used to. Someone not Harold bought food for me? Yeah. Angie's cornering the market a little bit there. No, don't fight. Dark Procession down towards the bot side. Sion locking him up though. Flash away. Hoya getting some damage down. Does have decent healing. It's actually doing pretty okay here, actually. The Maiden's doing a lot of damage to Tarzan. Yeah, that Maiden is actually disengaging the player. Remember, Yorick has kind of infinite sustain with the Q. Gets a Grasp Rock in there, gets another Q. Tarzan, can you get there in time? Another E. That would have killed, by the way. That would have killed. Another Dark Procession. Hoya. Look, I dunk on Hoya a lot for his individual play. Right there, that is as good as he could play. He is at 5 deaths, but given the way that the rest of the map is going, he is doing as good as he could. No one came down to help and very nearly winning in that 1v2. TT will get a cross map on the other side. Flandre will now go push up in that bot side to try and push up, for, I guess, for an inner turret. You can use that Demolish on there. A lot of HP. Does have significant tower threat. Yeah, actually, half the turret goes down with the with that. Has the 2 grubs as well. You know, Hoya did really well there. The Maiden doing a hell of a lot of work onto Tarzan. You could have but like, Amber, by the way, like, feel completely fine to put your foot down if this is like not okay. Like, you can do that. You do have the powers of the moderator here, and I will. I'm just not, you know, I'm not assuming anything, but you know, good. If it's funny, that's all good. Just wanted to check. As a main top, I sense how disappointed Hoya must be with this game. Yeah, especially given that Hoya's good performances can be sometimes a bit few and far between. Hook misses onto setup as he pops back. That's true, Blade. That's true. Still. Nice to check. Flandre's Sion, as impressive as ever, by the way, had very good, clean team fighting, absorbed a lot of pressure. However, the main character of this game is still Tarzan's Neferi, 7-1-5. Ridiculous amount of work. We should probably stop giving Tarzan the Neferi, folks. 3 items. You know, people not going for the Eclipse as much now. Between Black Cleaver, Shojin, and Death Stance, you're still very tanky. Of course, Eclipse doesn't give you HP. These 3 items do give you a lot more defensive ability, even with the shield from Eclipse. It's not. It is kind of much less valuable than damage over time. Well, hang on a second, chat. Oh, we're gonna get CC'd up. There's no Leandries on the Annie, so not that much damage coming through. Hope has a little bit more. Carl, decent ultimate coming through to delay. Tarzan's in the plane now. Of course, is you know, 7 kills. Tarzan and Kanavia no goes for Neferi. I agree. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else, but those are the 2. I'm like, I don't think I give them Neferi under any circumstances. Hoya teleported onto. Shanks not seen on this one. Cyanot coming through. Dark Procession blocking off a bit of that terrain there. You can't walk through that gap. This is one of the benefits towards Yorick, by the way. Can play around outside the map better. Doesn't end up mattering. Gets obliterated by Shanks. That's an important note, by the way, though. Yorick can block off a lot of that Artican fight. Maybe that's one of the reasons he's more powerful right now, actually. That terrain on one side of the map is very important. Setab caught out, blocked in his ultimate, has that E, so all he'll be doing is returning to a return point. That is marked out by anyone's legend. Setab, the first pick Yone going 0 and 5 is not what they would have wanted. Teleport up towards the top side now. No Yorick, no Yone. Tarzan will start to rip through that Baron. I want to see Tarzan Neferi versus Owner Shinzao. Yeah, that'd be very cool. I mean, Kanavi Shinzao's pretty good too, thinking about it. Yeah, Shinzao's very strong in general. Tarzan's Shinzao's been picking up some names recently. I want to see them versus Skewmon Shinzao as well. Skewmon's Shinzao game versus Casey yesterday was insane. Good stuff. All right, Baron's taken. Dragon on the other side would be Soul for AL, so they're getting quite greedy for this. They really want everything. That's a long-range Silent. Completely brains one Exan, who has to cleanse, flash. He doesn't do damage to Sion. Feather has to use everything to stop his AD carry dying to the Sion. And there's a steal on the Dragon too. Why not? Baron, Dragon, another kill onto Xiao Huangren. Anyone's Legend, 17 kills to 7. Someone asked me earlier, did I think this was going to be a scrappy game? My answer was no, it's likely to be a steamroll from Anyone's Legend. Folks, it has been a steamroll for Anyone's Legend. That's a lot of damage from the Neferi. Gets another E, a Q out of the brush, Hoya. I think he has been TT's best player this game. It just hasn't mattered. That one's a bit of a frustration death. At this point, what can you do? 11,000 gold behind Anyone's Legend. They had a game the other day, which went to 19,134 gold lead, I think, by end of game. This one's at 12, well, about 11,000 right now. I don't know if they can actually get towards that crazy 20k mark. It's because I don't think the game's going to last long enough. It's the problem with those kind of games. What? Gerald, what the hell? I want to see Kiana rework. Yeah, that makes her rewarding and raise her skill floor. I mean, the skill floor for Neferi... for Kiana... I mean, the skill floor is pretty high for, like, actual, like, useful Kiana. Can't just flash all everyone. It's quite hard to set that up. Your laning phases, Kiana, is pretty difficult. Call this game a bow because it's a steamroll? Are you kidding me? That's... holy crap, that's funny. What? That's a banger, Amber. Damn, that's a good one. Magi's picked up the Shanks. Get some light reading. Opens up the Magi's and says, Lesen Sie und organisen Sie. Read and organize these. It's a workbook. Well, what's on the agenda for today? I think it's Flandre. Learning a little bit of demolition. Charges into the back line. Shanks into the front. Magi stacks. Ults try to be thrown out and disengaged. Not doing a huge... Well, I say not doing a huge amount. Kills off the Nautilus, but on the other side of it, Shanks brings the bear to town. Let's bring your bear to work day. 3 dead already. Only 2 left, and I don't think they can wave clear that much. A load of the health on the first turret going down. Stun on setup as he flies back towards his body with his soul. Anyone's Legend very cleanly taking this first game. This one was an absolute steamroll. You do not give Tarzan Neferi 9-1 and 8. That dog needs to be put back into the kennel. You do not give Anyone's Legend Neferi. 0-13. Yeah, Hoya went 0-4 and 0 in his first and only J. There's a Nasus? Excuse me? What? Dog champ? So we had Neferi. Why no Neferi Nasus? Why no Neferi Nasus? Why are we not building the dog pack? Okay, so Nasus into Jace. Now I've seen Nasus into some stuff top lane over time. Who is it last into? Did we see it into Cassante a bit? When did we see the Nasus? Has anyone played this? Has anyone played this year? No, this is our first... No, we had one game of it in top lane, one game of it mid lane. Oh my god, Mecha with the 100 gift bomb! The Warrod adverts wages on! Let's hear the gyos. Holy crap. Reminded the 2 people that you can refresh the stream to basically get your sub implementation. 100 gift bomb. Jesus Christ, Mecha. Thank you, man. It say this every time, but of course makes a huge difference. Burf and resubscribing with the Prime as well. Thank you so much. Ari spin. Is that wait, where's that? Is that a 7TV emote? It's channel mode. I need to get something like that. I need some of those. I need Ari spin. Do I see the runes of Nasus? Did anyone catch them? I didn't catch them just now. Flandre? Walking at the level 1. Sam, we have a Nasus.
What?
First Nasus of 2025 worldwide.
Wait, let me get my chat. I heard the message just dropped pretty.
Yeah, we have a Nasus, we have 100 gift bomb. And Flandre blows the ghost early on. I forgot to change the volume as well. Oopsies. I forgot so the gyros would have been really quiet. Oopsies. Zoom, zoom. Alright, let's get into things. Flandre, E-Star, going for Phase Rush, not going for the Fleet Footwork, which we've seen in the past at some points. What the Phase Rush means is that the slow after the Q lands from... Oh, sorry, yeah, there's some stuff on the floor making it harder to push the push door open. Sam waddling his way in with the chat.
Success.
Yarp. Tarzan going to, well, remember last game he had an early dive. Pantheon doesn't ignore tower shots anymore, but still pretty good at early diving. You want to make sure you can get some value out of the, well, some value away from the Lucian army early on. Level 2 hit. Ow. I just need the desk. Good start for me. I'll give you over the headphones now so you can actually hear the game.
The plan is Flandre got himself the doggo in the top, so we don't get Neferi. It's been banned.
No,
it's been played, right? So I was wrong because, of course, was it Tarzan now 8-0 on it? You were saying?
Yeah, he's undefeated 8-0.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. And obviously now, on the other side of that, you've got to go. Well, where else can I find my dog champions?
Exactly. Is there any other dog champ? Oh, I mean, there's the dog skins, right? So we have like Fizz Fuzz.
Yeah, and
stuff
there's like Corky.
Yeah.
So there are additional options. Though, ironically, I tend to prefer the cat skins. I think there's just some really good ones. The Yorick cat, the Maokai cat, all of these things are pretty fantastic.
Funny you mentioned that. I actually typically really dislike the cat champions because they're just people in onesies.
Yeah, but
like, it's really lazy to me. It's really lazy to me.
But the Maokai one is so ridiculously cursed.
I mean, okay, no, that one is so cursed that I agree. However, on the whole, I'm like, why do we not? I mean, like, there's just very different style towards it.
There's also the Shaker one that's just a load of cats in a bag. Yeah. That's also very entertaining.
Flandre is very dead.
He's going to have a very bad time. Does a decent job of getting a little bit of healing with the Siphon power, but it's just not enough.
He is very dead.
Time to return the favour on the other side as Feather does manage to flash. Avoids the Tangle Bombs, that's the name of the E. I had to have a think about it. 1XM does get towards the turret here. Just be a bit wary though, because there is another wave coming on in, and AL have held the wave between the tiers 1 and 2. Oh dear. Right, he's got a cleanse and a flash, and the teleport's coming on through, so the Action will pull off this attempted dive.
So AL don't... They don't get what they came for in terms of kills, but they are stopping 1XM getting a lot of farm. Lucian Nami, when playing from behind, not happy. They're a champ. They're a duo which need to be really ahead of things. Sauerkraut, by the way, thank you for sharing the 100 bits. Thank you for supporting the stream. And for being here as well to witness whatever the hell is happening within League of Legends here in this beautiful, beautiful day in what I assume to be Shanghai. I didn't actually see the stadium we were playing in today, the arena. I'd imagine Shanghai's the neutral venue. Sometimes we have seen some other games put towards team venues though. Tarzan into mid lane, can he flash forwards? Doesn't need to.
Just manages to shield vault in, setup will flash, and another summoner spell. So that setup now down both his teleport and his flash, with Hoya having teleported already. She gave a bit of a free wave.
Are you kidding me?
On the minion wave, there was in fact a Nico. Thought it was all over. It really wasn't.
My dude, there's a cannon there on a wave it shouldn't be. How does that work? Sad. I mean, this is the thing about Nico. You have to be locked in at all times. Because as soon as you're not, why is there a minion there? There's so many questions we must answer ourselves on constant bases. Kyle, I've no idea how he gets away with it, but he does.
He does get away with it. I think it's probably the correct way of putting it. Have a look at the replay. The cannon was not a cannon. It's the second wave. You just don't think about it, do you? There comes that cannon that's just, I was like, oh, I guess it's just a second cannon coming up. It's like, no, there's not. Kyle just lands a Tangle Bobs, and Setab dies a horrible death.
It happens every now and again.
Bot side we go again. Feather at half HP, no flash, no heal. Kyle chunked out a little bit. Tarzan with the flash, with the shield vault. 1XM with flash, with cleanse. Probably not the easiest target, but the Nami, very gankable right now.
Yep, gankable and submissive. It's gonna get hit by that empowered Q next. Rise coming down.
To the realm, warp again.
It's just a step to the left and a dive to the right. And it is turning. Look, despite
on your keys.
Just wait for the rise on. You wait in anticipation. Time onto the top side again. As a weather comes through, it's Xiaohuangran. Look, he's going to try and wave clear out as much as possible, try and get some lifesteal through. Probably still dead.
He's very angry though, so he's gone and made himself very large. And actually just get a 1-for-1 because the turret shots come and help. So that's at least something back. 12 stacks.
You know what? That's fine for Flandre. Wait, did he get the kill with the Q or was it the tower shot?
I think it was a tower shot, actually.
In that case, it's not the 12 stacks, so that's sad for him. He's only on the 48 right now. I think we've probably would have seen it tick up there, but... And it was Legend. doing really well on this bot side. It is a worry that the Nasus is getting behind, because Nasus is not useful when you're a certain level behind. However, Lucian Nami, same kind of thing. So we both have basically a ball and chain on both teams. One of them is the Lucian Nami, being between them about 1,000 gold down, and then the Nasus on the top side, being about 1,000 gold down. Let's see who's heavier.
That'll be the idea. And Flandre, of course, known for having a little bit of time in the kitchen, has played some interesting champions out there. Was one of our first Yorick enjoyers. Was, of course, the big proponent of the Graves top when he won Worlds. Has always had just a little bit of that chef in him. It feels like a lot of top laners out there do. We've seen it from the likes of Mirwins and Broken Blades and Darians and all these other players across the years. So it does feel like top lane often has some of the more unusual options to one extent. Slowed down by the Rune Prison. It's more like a Rune restraining order. You know, it's not quite full incarceration.
It's Rune House Arrest.
Yeah, Rune House Arrest, exactly.
You're allowed to move, but within this small area. No, that is actually Camille Ultimate. You're allowed to move, but only within this small area. Xiao Huangran really hates dogs. Just really hates them. He's on Flandre's side of the map again. Suppose not going for a full dive this time. Root into the ult onto Hoya, who's feeling a little less happy about things. Flandre going over towards Xiao Huangran now.
Think about potentially siphoning the power of the Gromp, but will not do so. What's Nasus ult name again? Is it Fury of the Sands? Flash from Kyle into Feather being a lot of danger. Does get the heal means nothing at all, as that Comet Spear just makes sushi out of Naomi.
Yep, there's Fury of the Sands for Nasus and Fury of the Mans for Pantheon.
The Sands Mans.
I can't remember any of Pantheon's voice lines right now. I was about to say, I will not yield, but of course that's Cassante, who is a very furious man when he ults. Tarzan going to be clearing through the side of the map now. Like, that's a nasty dive. I just don't see how you play with a bot lane this far behind. Flandre at least is starting to clear out. Will he get himself the Q on the minion? He will!
Hey!
Yay!
90
Plus stacks
now, finally. Getting a little bit more farm. Backing away from some of this wave, though. And in fairness, Nasus into the Jace can sometimes be a bit of a weird one for Jace. If you get withered in the wrong space, you really do want to play with your range best you can. As over they come, though, and no Fury of the Sands to work with. Flandre is caught under this turret. It's a 3v1. You shouldn't be there. I know the minions taunt you, dearest Nasus players, but sometimes you just have to let the wave go.
I think what Flandre was trying to do is survive through to one last E on the wave to wave clear out so they can't kill the turret on that wave. You can see that they're backing off. Now Shanks could actually, if you wanted to, teleport onto that side of the map and protect that turret. Might actually be able to walk. No, okay, Hoy's gonna be able to stick around. Okay, so that is it actually. So by dying for the last wave, he gets another E down, which means that the tower is not dead. Shanks can now walk up and save the turret. So basically, it's a death to say you will not get this tower. I die for it, and we'll just hope that the macro works out after that point. Argument as to whether that is worth it, but that is what I assume the logic is.
Whether the logic is a valid set of decision making, I cannot tell you right now. However, this has been the case for now.
So, checking in on the ball and chain on both sides, 1.2k for Nasus, but on the other side, near enough 2k for the bot lane. Look, I like 1xN and Feather a lot. This is not on them. Tarzan came down to their lane early, mashed them. Anyone's Legend have managed to rotate around the map to make sure that 1xN and Feather can't escape the bad lane. Look, if this was Anyone's Legend, with their bot lane suffering early, they would have found a way to swap out of that lane effectively and stop them from getting dunked down on. They are much better at the early swaps. TT, they're just not there in terms of that macro level. They're just not there. Anyone's Legend are the best early swap team. Maybe the best strategic early game team. Notice I say strategic because I think some teams can execute better in early game because I think BLG's lanes are stronger. I think potentially top esports can have a side of that too. But I think in terms of the plans that they put in, Anyone's Legend are really good at saying, okay, we'll swap away at 3 minutes as soon as the lane swap detection folds, and we'll get some value out of it. So showcasing that here, I think, again.
That will keep our eyes on. Of course, TT actually had a very good set of early games yesterday against Weber. That's partly how they ended up winning that series, was off really good early snowballs, but Anyone's Legend have been able to outthink and play them early on, and that's not been a great space for TT because they come into a mid-game ball, it looks bad. Setup gonna hop away between worlds. I don't know whether you needed to pop the ult there. I suppose the flash on Tarzan could have gotten a bit tricky.
I think they knew that Pantheon was... that is tilting. That is tilting. You ulted out a little bit skittishly, thinking, oh, well, I've just got to get out of the Pantheon ultimate. That is too far. That is way too far. Walking up and thinking that you were safe at that point. You had no information as to whether they backed out of that brush, and Satsab, very easy death for them. This game was already hard. You're playing without a bot lane for a significant portion of this game right now. You're not at Imperial Mandate for the Nami, which is such an crucial spot. You normally expect that by this kind of point in the game. Anyone's Legend are going to steamroll again.
It does feel like this game is a bit of a done deal right now, unless we get a bit of recovery coming on in. Needs to be a really good fight around one of these next objectives or a really good set of picks. It's just not happened, and Xiaohuangren, yes, it's been some decent dive stop. Yes, this Jace is in fairness pretty strong, but the game's not been about the Jace so far. Maybe made about the Jace, I think, will be a different question.
Point in chat. Give TT's draft to AL and we'd see a slaughter at 15. There's something to that. I think just the way that AL play through their lanes in their early game has been so clinical compared to other teams. TT, look, they are playing with a replacement jungler. By the way, Sam, there was a very funny comment on Chinese socials after the game yesterday with TT versus Weibo, where you know that Tian was replaced by Bo and FPX.
Yeah.
So, Tian couldn't beat Beichuan because they lost to BLG, so he couldn't beat Bo's replacement. And he couldn't beat Bo's replacement's replacement, Xiaohuangren, because they lost to TT the other day. So poor Tian has been saying, like, I was benched by Bo, his replacement, and then, like, the grandchild replacement also ended up beating him. Feathers caught out again. Fishy, dead.
Gets the heal. I don't know whether that was needed. I actually did a decent job of sidestepping the comments bit, but there is...
Wait, hang on. Flandre got the one... Wait, there's a 1-for-1 under the turret while this happened, by the way. Shanks can teleport here too, choosing to push in bot side. Feather, I'm not actually sure he's safe yet. Okay, maybe he is by now.
With the 1-for-1 of that turret, and good escape from the Nami. Between Worlds comes across a little bit shy. Hoya goes on
Great
front,
Great
Tarzan just presses the Aegis Assault and begins to turn it around. He's not on defense anymore. In comes the teleport. Shanks now around, looking to put some spell flux and some rune presses out, and Feather, after all of that work, still dies in a double kill to Tarzan. Now there's a realm walk forwards, but Hoya is swift enough with his form changes and acceleration gate to be out to safety.
Can't believe that Tarzan was like, I'll take that last kill. You escaped me earlier, Navi, but not today. Shanks pushes in bot lane, teleports up towards top side. There's a 5-kill jungler in the game now. Tarzan is obscenely fed. And you can see right there the value of the Pantheon taking a single directional fight of his choosing. He gets all of the damage onto one side. We didn't see this on screen because Nami was dying. Flandre, oh, the Wither. And towers are kind of busted, I guess. That Wither was very important
nasty, yeah.
Teleport behind Shanks now doesn't have flash. Good Q flash forwards. This should be a dead flash, Shanks.
Should well be. There's a grab.
Oh, maybe not.
Stays alive for a second or two longer now for a 1v2 for a moment. As Tarzan looking to trade on in. Setup in danger. Shield vault onto Xiaohuangren alongside that smite for the slow. Looking for another Q. Auto comes on down. They get the damage back, but Hope is here. Will still likely end up being the 2-for-2. Make that a 2-for-3, I apologize. As of course, the Aurora falls too.
Okay, so mid jungle down from Anyone's Legend, but as you're saying, the whole top side of TT blasted in the last series of plays there. Hope gets to stay out on the map. TT are always losing out by just a little bit, even in plays which they should be winning cleanly, like that. You say, oh, you know, should be just a dead Shanks at the start of it. Takes long enough that Tarzan gets to respond quickly. This is one of the big... Look, if you're going to take away a lesson from this game, which you can apply to any meta game right now, teleports are slow. If you're defensively playing, you want a global, not a teleport. If Tarzan, in a theoretical scenario, Feather might die here, by the way, but if he had a teleport and not his ultimate in that scenario, AL do not win that plane. The same kind of thing happens with Talia, same kind of thing happens with Galio, Shen, Sion. All of these champions that can follow up very, very quickly can be so, so powerful. Because if you know that the fight is happening, you get to respond quicker.
That's a very astute read on that. There's TT. Managed to interrupt Flandre's back by spotting one ward in the middle of the lane that he went look to sweep and then missed it. Set up. Hit with a little bit of CC though. Forced down about half. The tidal wave comes across Tarzan as well. Also about half. The culling doesn't really hit onto him though. And poor TT can't step forward with 1XM because Shanks is waiting. Forces the cleanse out of him. He's down to 10% HP. Into the backline they go. Does Kyle. Between worlds comes on down. Makes it a bit of a more even fight setup. Does go across the veil to get out to safety. But the eye now being guarded. Realm Warp available. Hope steps on forwards with Shanks. Will not join the Realm Warp actually. But still tries to step onto Feather. 1XM flashing. Makes it a 1-for-1 there. However, Hoya still dies to Hope. Credit to 1XM for at least taking the rise with him. But yikes.
I'm kind of surprised that 1XN went down there, actually. For me, it's on Shanksbin, turning that into a 1-for-1, flashing over the Rune Prison, killing the Lucian. He could have, he was thinking about which target to kill there, basically. As soon as 1XN flashed over the wall, it's like, okay, I need to kill the Lucian. This guy will gun me down. I think Shanks, good mechanical play at the back end. Sadly losing his flash, though, of course, in there, too. 1XN burst out so hard hit. The Lucian Nami is not, you know, gunning someone down with the the culling, rather. Really early into the fight. This Lucian Nami is not getting the mid lane control that they need. You are playing with such a deficit in that bot lane role. It's really hard to play out. Now, 1XN does actually get a lot of value here. Shanks used a lot of his cooldowns onto the Nami instead. Shanks does get that last kill onto Feather. Very close to taking a 2-man there, actually.
Hope, I think, got a bit done in by the Z axis between the river and the entrance to the jungle there as well. He thought he was in the Realm Warp and was not. And so just sat there looking a bit awkward and had to turn onto the Jace, and it left Shanks in a 1v2 that I think he was expecting would be a 2v2.
So 3,000 gold lead, dragging over towards Endless Legend. It feels like the game's been going on longer than it has. There is still a lead for the Jace. I just don't think Jace carries this kind of game. I just don't think it. You've got a Pantheon ult and a Rise ult that can drop into his lane. It's a lethality Jace, so he does blow up even quicker. And Hoya's not known for playing that reserved and safe that well. As in, like, you can attack Hoya and you tend to get value out of it. Now, his Yorick last game was good, actually. I don't think it was the problem that game. In fact, he was the best player on his team, I think. But even then, he was attacked in those side lanes. AL have the tools to do that. So even though it's only a 3k gold lead, I suppose, in the top lane, in the top of your screen, rather, I think it's actually worse than that because a lot of your gold is onto a champion that you can actually take off the board from anyone's legend quite easily.
On the other side, this Ezreal is going to be absolute nightmare to take apart, I think, for TT, especially considering your Lucian army aren't strong enough to really threaten with your goals. But at the moment I say that, Hope is actually about to maybe die, stays alive with the courtesy of a heal. Xiaoprong tries to get away, the flash out of the shield vault as Kyle brings down the Nami. Kyle does finally get brought low by the weirding combo, but that's still not enough to turn that into a winning play. 3-for-1 in favor of anyone's legend.
Again, look how quickly anyone's legend responds to that play. Teleports come through, you have the ult coming through from Tarzan, and immediately, snap, 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 3 people come into the play, and TT can't finish off the play quickly enough. Hope survives with good use of heal, barrier, and of course the mobility through from that champion too. Unlucky for TT to not finish off their Ezreal early. However, I think even if they did, don't actually think it changed the outcome of that play. AL walk away, bunch of kills, go towards the Atakan, and the gold lead, and the gold lead, which was 3k, goes up another 1,000. Another objective goes over. TT, much like last game, just losing out by a significant margin, even when it should be a bit of a winning play in their better case scenarios.
So this was the attempted play. Q into ult. Let's hope. Goes down about 10%, but the tidal wave isn't quite synced with the Vial, and Hope gets to jump away.
Look how quickly they respond. Like, we are in a global meta right now, folks. You need something that can respond to a play quickly. Now, whether that is a long-range Jhin W, a Zeri E over a wall, stuff which we don't normally think of as a semi-global or something like that, having something that can respond to a play very quickly is very important. Very, very important. So I've been so passionate talking about it recently. And of course, solo laners always bring a teleport. But having an extra tool from jungle, from other roles, can be very, very important to you. And anyone's legend showcasing, you know, why they're succeeding in this meta, partly due to that.
It's the one. If you're wondering why it feels like the game's gone on a lot longer than it has, maybe look at the kill score. We are in fact at 26 kills in 20 minutes where we were at 22 at 15 or something. It has been a action-packed game, to say the least. We are well over a kill a minute. Every skirmish seems to be drawing significant blood. 1xN. On forward, lands a bit of a chunk there onto the Ezreal. Flandre, they're looking for a flank and look to throw down that big old burn. I'm trying to remember, it's not Soul Furnace, and it's not Soul Flare.
Soulfire.
Soulfire, I knew it was something like that.
So you have a Siphoning Strike as your Q, and you have Wither, Soulfire, and then Fury of the Sands as your ultimate.
I was thinking, I know it's not Karma Mantra Q. It is, however, quite similar.
And then the passive is something soul as well, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I can't remember that one. I used to know that one. But it does basically give you free lifesteal, which is really nice. It's pretty cool. A lot of good stats. It's gone for the Iceborne Gauntlet, as you're behind the game. Needs to be a bit more tanky. Not going to be as much of a duelist. Is he going? Hang on a second. There is a Black Cleaver to deny some of that tankiness. Gets himself that phase rush. One of the good things about, you know, whacking someone and then getting the auto key reset. You get a very quick phase rush. Shank's getting great damage on. Oh my god, he's going to solo kill him.
Just walks at him. That Rise is absolutely speaking no English right now. That is nasty stuff. Hope in the mid lane throwing out some Qs. TP in from Hoya. Looking for a shock blast that hits no one. Maybe a Q over the wall here, but Tarzan spots with a good control ward. Hoya then jumped on with a shield. Volchar Hogwarts doesn't get any value. He's into the back and immediately get hit with a pop blossom and dead. At least one XM brings down Shanks. And actually look for some more. Nice combo with that shock blast and makes it a 2 for 2.
I mean, is that mid lane turret or the Tower of Babel? Because it goes from, wow, they don't speak in English to, what language are they speaking? Double kill on both sides, which is actually pretty good for TT. They do get themselves a couple of shutdowns with that one. I think I probably should have just killed the turret at some point in that. Zatab tries to defend a ward. 2 levels down.
Oh, no.
Very quick rune prison comes through. Shanks on a hair trigger. I mean, the psychopath is just there. It's like, just give me a reason. Just give me a reason. I'll pull the trigger. Starts EQing all over the poor opposing mid laner. I think at this point, Anyone's Legend should have actually just killed the turret. You did have enough damage to kill that. Instead, Shanks ends up getting isolated off the side. It is a good tidal wave, actually. The tidal wave separates him away from the team, and then Hope tries to kill the turret. And he actually gets that memo a bit later, saying, yes, I can kill the turret. Backdoor bonus had fallen off. Instead, dies.
Yeah, bit disrespectful of the turret aggro. That was, in fairness, a really good tidal wave, good turnaround.
Oh,
does give a
Soul Eater is the passive. Thank you, Blade.
Soul... The hit anime Soul Eater?
Yeah.
Is this Kane a sword? Does it speak to him?
Maybe.
I never watched Soul Eater.
No, me neither. I saw a bit of the art style. I thought, huh, that's very recognizable.
Yeah.
Person with that giant scythe as well. Which then, you know, Owarin Osarif really tried to do its own thing with that too. Actually, she was one of the better characters in that show. The show was painfully mid, but that character was pretty cool.
That's true. Also, Kane is clearly not a Soul Eater reference, by the way.
No, not at all. They should really remake the Goth skin line and give Kane one of them, by the way. Good combo onto Xiaohuang. Nico's doing quite a lot of damage, actually, because they've got a lot of gold in there.
Quite a lot of work. Zatab was thinking about coming to fight this and went, yeah, no, maybe not. And they will get a second dragon. Of course, it is only second dragon. This has been traded early on, so not all that fast approaching a soul or something like that. A couple dragons away from that before anyone's Legend. 3 if TT wants to get towards it.
Blue Exorcist was also painfully mid. In fact, that show is like the definition of a mid show, where it's like, nothing's inherently bad about it, but there's very little good about it either. Like, it's got nice character designs.
I remember
and
the
it's
name.
just,
That's it.
And Sam, that's all I remember about the show, and I did watch it. And that's the only, I remember character designs in the title, and that's it.
Pop Blossom! Angle onto Hoya, in comes the Grand Starfall, and that Jace is gone, surely! Finally goes down. Kyle will get traded at the back end of it already, though. Setup is dead. Xiaohuang forced to flash away. Slow onto 1xN, who can't do any more. Has already used the culling and the flash. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 plus the turret. The spell flux on Xiaohuang, I don't know how easy he can walk up here as Shanks is feeling it again. Soulfire comes on down as the Comet Spear comes flying. Nice observing skills, tracking that skill shot. True Shot Barrage comes along. Trying to get away! True Shot by name, True Shot by nature. Hope, Chinese Sniper.
He gets himself like 3 hits on his ult there. It's a 3-person ultimate and also a sniper at the end. My dude, he's on good form there. So, Annual's Legend not only get the kills, they also get themselves the turret, as you were saying beyond that point. Flandre gets to return to his side lane. 5k gold lead. Again, you think, oh well, but Jace is so far ahead. Jace got demolished in that play. And you're so far behind as the Lucian. The Lucian can't carry a fight. The way that I look at team fights right now, and I think this is the easiest way to track a team fight, is who can carry if after the initial cooldowns are gone. Because, you know, once you've used that burst, who can carry? Now, in this game, I think you have, on the side of TT, normally you would expect Jace, Lucian, sometimes Aurora. She's a bit more bursty, a little bit hard to do that. And someone like Vi, very occasionally, but still, it really is kind of like about Jace and Lucian first and foremost. On the other side, it's about the Rise and the Ezreal. Occasionally, the Nasus can too, but when you're behind that, that's not the case. Lucian is no longer on that list because he's so far behind. Very rarely does an AD carry fall to that point. I say that now. He does have that 3 items now, so maybe he can return to that list again. But as soon as the Jace went down in that fight, I'm like, well, That's it.
Yeah.
Like, Jace is the one person that can carry your team fights right now with that gold lead.
And the thing is, right, like the Lucian is actually similar farm to the actual 2-1 and 3. That's not a bad scoreline. It's just on the other side. Hope is 8-1 with loads more turrets in him, and he's nearly at a 4th item. Lucian has at least got the 3rd, but has been able to get to tier 2 boots, which again, when you're into things like Ryze, Nico, Pantheon, all these people who you do actually need to be quite aware of your positioning on, not having the tier 2 mobility can be a little bit scary.
Just in Twitch chat, I will not take any Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood slander. It is an awesome show. It is one of the true 10 out of 10s there. You can call it a slow start. I call it appropriate world building and character building. It's wonderful. Everyone should watch it. It is one of the very objectively best shows out there. It's
also, Full Metal Alchemist, the original, is also really good.
Yeah,
Just a very different story.
It is. The thing with Full Metal Alchemist is that it overtook the manga, and then they had to do their own thing, and then they had to make it up as they went along. TT, they're going to have to make it up as they go along. See, that's a great segue. Great segue. Because they have no vision, and that's the jungler core as Baron's alive. That's a problem.
Was not a great face check. In comes Shanks behind them all with a Realm War. And the Vi gets a bit of shielding, but a blast shield is not unfortunate enough to stop the full might of the battle station that is Ryze and Pantheon.
That's so much damage.
Just EQ'd.
When you hit level 16 and your combo gets even more powerful because your ult passive is, by the way, your combos do more, it is just so unfair. 3 levels ahead. Shanks has had an awesome game on the Ryze, being such a catalyst, no pun intended, he actually builds them.
All Ryze mains. EQ, EQ, EQ.
Oh, what fun we have. If you ever get a chance, check out the Ryze main subreddit. It's great. I know you weren't... but by the way, like, I know you weren't saying that Full Metal Alchemist it was bad, but yes, I just wanted to make sure. I had to very clarify. It's very important to me that people do not take that as slander.
Right. Alex, Cowboy Bebop.
He missed the cannon Q. He misses 12 stacks.
Minus 12.
Yes.
Minus 12 in chat. Question.
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or Cowboy Bebop?
Oh,
I say Cowboy Bebop.
Now the thing is, I actually think that Full Metal Alchemist is a better show. I think that Cowboy Bebop has a much more important message.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see it.
Look, I say that as well. There's some very important messages in that too.
Oh, he's feeling a little, isn't he? Oh dear, the little Lego man goes down for the count. Kyle pulls back away. Uses his clone to body block a lot of the culling. His setup needs to back on out of that one.
Yeah, for those people that don't know, Xiao Huangren translates to vaguely minion or small person.
There we go. He's going to get taken out on the other side of the GA, so it doesn't really bring Tarzan down for the count now, does it? He gets to hop on forwards, and again, we've got a 2-level advantage in the jungle, which is always scary. Shanks does get hit for a fair amount of damage, but he's zero shields, so he just doesn't die. The True Shot Barrage is just half of Nami's health bar as an afterthought.
10-1 and 3 on the Ezreal, by the way. Hope is snuffing out TT's version of it. There's not silent, Nasus. Pressing ult on top side, halving his Q cooldown, and absolutely whacking him with the baton. Here comes the Pantheon for funsies, I guess. So that's going to be 2 inhibitors down in quick succession.
Well, there we go. Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom headquarters, anyone's legend are about to bring low Thunder Talk Gaming. You have to... Oh! Just eviscerates the Lucian. 1xN, X marks his spot. He is gone. Turrets are out, and anyone's legend make it a statement game. It is a swift, convincing, brutal tour. Your judgment. Well, Shadow just lost on the Akali. However, it's now going on to the other side. Doomby going for the Akali. You're quite AP heavy with those solo lanes. However, whoever gets hit by that first bit of CC should just die. They've locked in the Poppy. So between that and the Talia, it's not a fun Akali game. Not a fun Akali game at all. Like, Doomby's going to have to, like, manage this quite well. And you've got quite a lot of diving champions in the Vi and the Rel as well. Steadfast Presence, Unraveled Earth, the Double Thunderdome's really hard, I think, to make that necessarily... Don't ignore me, Kiesi. What are you going? Hello, husband. Oh, sorry, Kiesi. That's right. That's right. I got married in Twitch chat a few weeks ago to Kiesi. Somehow, some way. I don't know whether I actually had that one. Happy beer. Thanks for streaming anytime, Tone. Quite literally, we're here like most days of the week, so pretty much any time. Let the cheers go, shall we? Mecha, I didn't really get a choice in getting married. I was just sort of married. And it was kind of like, that was it. Meant to marry me. Sorry about that, Solly. Maybe Twitch chat can be polyamorous. We can all marry me. Be one big, happy family. Sam. What's up, Amber? What did I miss? Choices in marriage? Not in our timeline. Yeah, I know, right? No! Guess he's a jealous spouse. To the YouTube chats, don't worry about it. The Twitch chat be wilding right now. Can I be the niece? Sure, sure, Kites. What is going on? How did I end up in this position? Honestly, I'd join a Sam cult. That's very reasonable, 88 pies. I'd make a great cult leader. You did it this time, Sam. Yeah, that's fair. Please, dear God, no, says Amber. Desperately try to escape. Understandable. Especially as the moderator. There would be no escaping. Omar. Good to see you, Omar. Obviously, got to see you on stream the other day. Saw all the pictures. Twitch chat is sane. Perfectly sane. No, it is not. That's a silly statement. Morning, Derek. Good to see you over in the YouTube chat. Got you open as well. It's the guy with the coloured hair, Aki. He looks different. I think it is. He has dyed his hair a few times in the past. The famous one was Yukal, who dyed his hair Thunder Talk blue. In fact, if you check your bottom of your screen, you should be able to see who it is at some point in the near future. Blue Cal, exactly 1,000 Kites. I miss him. Yeah, me too. He's been trying real hard over in the LCK. He has been a little run down by some of his team members at points. Soon with an early back here for Boots, I'm assuming. Ate a bit too much poke from the Varus. They're trying their best, Sam. DRX is my team. 1,000 Kites. You know how to pick them, don't you? And there you go. Aki is indeed the one with the dyed hair. Blonde and a proper emo swoop of a haircut. Icon white dyed hair. Absolutely. Back in the day. Yes, Alex has LEC and DD is casting tonight. Sheer. Eats a bit of damage, but again, Gwen v Rumble at this point is a match we've got some idea on. We've not quite fully shoved in. Should get a reset here to She's gone for the exhaust, interestingly. Into Akali. Into Vi, into Rumble. I think that's fair. What do I mean by what, 1,000 Kites? That Rumble skin is my least favorite skin to play against. It's very loud. Flash. Crash down from BP God with the Ferromancy. Doesn't find what they're looking for, though. And that's just the bigger flash. As Sheer sort of says, cool. Doesn't even lose that much HP. Just got to walk away. That was a bit overforced. Something about me picking my teams. Oh, yeah, well. Remind me, which teams do you support again, Kites? Just drop a line in chat. And I think at that point, your choice in life will be studied. Every time I see him doing be Akali, I think of the clip where he got a nutty kill mid and type time in mid's ult. Yeah, he does have that habit. I respect Exhaust for that. Exhaust, but I think it's really smart this game. Well, there goes the dragon. Anyone's legend? BLG, DRX? BLG's accepted. BLG's normal. DRX, actually, you've got a very wild mix. Because there's like, between Vitality and DRX, and even anyone's legend to an extent, there are people there who are going to hurt you. Hell, BLG have been doing that a little bit to you recently, but you know, like, your CFOs, your HLEs, your BLGs, theoretically quite consistent. BLG is all sorts of it until they want to try. Very true. Dway, hit with a hail of arrows, throws down the steadfast presence, shattering strike onto Assume, who barriers afterwards. It doesn't have that shield broken. See if a flying oyster. BLG Gen GW. Ooh, alright, KB, I see you. When did you start supporting WE? Are you an old school WE fan? Of course, they're one of the OG fandoms in League of Legends. Shout out to Wei Xiao. That would be the greatest AD carry who ever existed. He was better than everybody at the time. Seismic shove. Care. They were ready to go. Toward top side, overcomes FPX, equalize on the wave. Should mean no dive, really an opportunity hit for a FunPlus Phoenix. Vitality literally has Hilly at home, and he's staying at home. This draft, who do you think has the better comp? It's a weird one, because NIP have got Vi and Varus to set up for a Kali Rumble ult, which is pretty scary. However, and they've gotten a really good early lead here, particularly through mid lane. Like that, there should not be a 40 CS discrepancy between a Talia and an Akali. That shouldn't happen. Like that, I don't know what's happened with Care here, what's gone wrong in the matchup. That should not happen. TSM the Rain Man team. Deadly Flourish onto the Vi, who just goes down. Nice combo. Because that is my worry for what happens to NIP there on your screen. There are a lot of tools to prevent your dashing champions from enjoying dashing very much. Between Steadfast Presence and Unravel Earth and Jin W, and then Gwen, Shinzao with their W and R to basically have fake frontline that ignores a lot of the range. Like, I think I prefer FPX's draft. I just think that NIP have played this early game out largely quite well, though Joy with the double knock-up onto people as Care misses another seismic shove. Oh, no. Public execution wide. There'll be a flash available for doing B. I think Care is just dead. Awful angle on the threaded volley. That is just not good play from Care. Doing B. Hand checking there. Curtains are called. Gets a slow onto Aki. Not that much more value. Is on the other side. Leave. Got to the Jones of Corruption. Gets that kill. Will likely get traded out. He'll be an 80 carry for an 80 carry. Is Sheer. Picks up the response. Care's not been playing well recently. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He had a few moments where he felt quite good. And then he fell off again. He's been very streaky. The last time we saw him, he had a really, really good game one on, I want to say Rise. And then the Ari was poor. Doing B Akali 11 CS a minute, which is pretty nuts. Yeah. Ari. Somehow Care misses the seismic shove and all of the threaded volleys. You got a single rock of value there from the Unraveled Earth team. FPX should still outscale. I agree between the Gwen, Jin, Talia, the range. The Gwen consistent damage I think is really, really nasty. However, and I do want to stress this, Akali being at 150 CS in 14 minutes with a kill and a 2,000 gold lead does change that somewhat. Of course, this is doing B into FPX. The team he won Worlds on. Team he made famous, really. Well, he was on Xiaogu Reapers for a long time with the likes of Meteor. That went awkwardly, but hey, was it Meteor or was it Swift? Anyway, there was some drama there. Might have been both at different times. But that team, when he was playing things like Kassadin, went over to FPX, still playing his weird way of playing the game. And now styling like this. 40 CS up. 40! In a ranged V melee matchup. Into a pretty good anti-Akali draft. Also glad Leave went lethality this game since his poke and zoning is going to be important. Yeah, I actually agree. You need to be able to actually deal with like Gwen and Talia a bit more freely. Like, also, what do you do on hit as on-hit Varus this game? Who are you even hitting? Like, if you're inside the Thunderdomes of Shinzao Gwen, you're already too close. You're never getting close to a Jin or Talia unless they want to be there. Exhaust onto B, who gets out alive. Aki now looking for an angle. The equalizer is good. Joy now in danger. Akali go back in. Had the E2 and the R2. Public execution. Perfect execution. And Bessa has cooked my brain over these past few weeks. Somehow Aki ends up dying on the back end of it anyway. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. Herald taken by FPX. That looked really good for a second. But how did Aki end up dying? I missed it. How did Aki end up dying? That looked really good for NIP. Have a look at this again. They're the ones on the heralds. I take it back. It was secured. And then Doomby gets one out having been exhausted. Aki comes across. He's in a 1v3. Care doesn't die. Aki needs an auto. Can't find it. And Shea got to run away on the other side. Oops. Dragon started by FPX. This would be their second. Herald immediately dropped by the side of NIP. Dragon down to 3k HP. Weaver's Wolf to deny easy access. Flash on in. Stolen away! Aki gets it! A player who's had a lot of crises thrown his way. Finds a lot of value there. Kill onto the shins out. Doomby in danger. Gets over the wall with the R2. Escapes. PP God will likely be the sacrifice here. Dway picks that one up. I think you could probably have donated that one over to someone like the Jin. Either way, 1 for 1. Shadow dies. PP God dies. You get the mid lane tier 1 and the dragon. Nice. Very nice. Good work from Aki there. That's feat of strength as well. Happy with that one. TP top. Aki's got... Oh, I don't know about this one, Cat. Gets away with it. In the moment, Doomby mistimed the Shuriken flip. It's going to be a bit tricky anyway. Seraph's just completed too, so hard to necessarily burst out that Talia. Just Q smite. Doomby happily gets that turret topside. And PP God crashes down. Not out. Doomby's 2 levels up. Yeah! Yeah, he is. He's the highest level in the game alongside Sheer right now. Been side laning very well on this Akali. Got a lot of value this game. Nice 5-point strike. Sheer should pick up the majority of this one. And Poppy cops her way back. Does Doomby ever need a reason to do what he does? Probably not. Overcomes the Weaver's wall. Solo kill got exhausted. Down about 20% HP. Okay. Not getting a lot of value there. Struggling on this Talia. We've seen so many great Talias of late. This one feels a bit rough to see. At least the discrepancy in CS hasn't changed anymore. Do they want to play this? Where's the follow-up? Aki's hanging around. There's camps to be taken. Leaves it. Infernal Cinder's picked up. TP behind. Oh, no. Revive from one side. Rumble from the other. Flashes out of the equalizer, but the damage is already done. Seraph shield means nothing. Care is dead. TP in. 2v1. Flash away from solo kill. Keeps him alive. Shit, TP'd for that. Nothing. Just an extra flash. Oh dear. This one's looking very NIP favored now. 2,000 gold up. Feats of strength. Dragon stacking. And the Kali, which no one's going to be able to match on the side. And if you can scale and get value onto this onto this Gwen, then maybe things change. Don't know how easy that will be, though. Especially as this Talia is just so not a factor right now. That is the gold lead, basically. That and there. At least your Gwen is 2 items. Over towards the dragon. Go FPX. Trying to take this one before NIP can come over and truly contest. NIP now in the river. Potentially looking to come on in. Keep his verdict available. Dragon secured. Try to time it right. Not quite in range. Atakan started. FPX going to be forced to come over and fight this. Jin's nearly here. Solo kill now turning up as well, down to half of the HP on the Atakan. 5k more to go. Weaver's wall in. Atakan still aggroed. Doinby off on a flank, looking for something here. Shadowlands and winds become lightning onto PP. God goes over the wall into the Crescent Guard. They're looking to turn this. NIP a little split. They lose their Vi. Suddenly they don't have a smite. Not great from then. Shuriken flip goes wide. Doinby off on the flank, did not get into that play. Now a 4v5. Care can look for a bit of a potential play here. Pulling off it. Shove onto solo kill, and NIP are falling apart here. That is not great. Doinby still here. To play this one out. There's still Steph's Press, still Unraveled Earth. He can't play this without anything else. And the flip goes horribly wrong for NIP. Let's have a look at this again, because things got weird here. Try to pull away, and Shadow says, yeah, no, you're not going to leave like that. Crescent Guard splits Aki off. He's immediately taken out. Sheer pounces. Gets that one. And Care drops down here. Sees everyone. Despite the bad game he's been having, still gets to shove Sheer into the rest of his team. And they pick up that kill as well, all while Doinby, who's all of the gold lead, didn't get to do anything that fight. Gold lead's still there for NIP, but it's very much more nominal now. Doinby gets a good shove up here. Flash away from PP God. Weaver's wall comes on down. Doesn't get as much as they're hoping for. Dragon in 35 seconds. "20 seconds to go. NIP in full command of that river. Sheer with the teleport. I wonder whether he's got something on back here, actually. NLR and a Amptone inventory. I think he might be going towards... Probably Zhonya's. Could theoretically be a Shadow Flame as well. Somewhere out there. Resident Gwen in the channel. Sal would be going, yes, Shadow Flame, please. Shadow. Doing their best. Deadly Flourish goes wide. We're going to rush Baron. I think we are. Talia over the back of the wall, throwing out threaded volleys. Sheer, Shadow, and Care look to do this. PP God and the rest of them, they don't know. They're going to look now, but I think it's going down fast enough that they're not going to be there in time. Weaver's Wall denies a lot of this. It's gone. Baron is going to be FPX's. Great sneak from the Phoenixes. That's a big one. 2MB with a relatively defensive build here. Between the Merc Treads and the Zhonyas. Going towards a Void Staff third. Actually not going to be the highest damage. There's no Shadow Flame. There's no Death Cap in there. Void Staff will be helpful, as it was in fact a Banshee's Veil for the Gwen. Understandable when you're into a Rumble and a Kali as your two serious threats to your livelihood. He's going to find some people there. Aki steps on forwards. Actually ends up knocking them out of PP God's attempted engage. In a 3v1, Sheer throws down the Exhaust, but is across the red carpet. 2MB is here. Doesn't get involved somehow. Goes into the Twilight Shroud. Does have the R2 to work with. Another Love Shuriken flip available. Goes back in. R2 misses Assume. Still look to get onto Care. Throws out another 5-point strike. Keeper's Verdict comes on down. But leaving PP God can keep hunting. Piercing Arrow lands onto Assume. Gets the fleet footwork speed away. It was looking so good, FPX, and then what was that? Well, there is a replay of Sheer. Spotted what was going on and got whacked for it. Not set up. But then Shadow, why? Why the 1v3, brother? A little too easy to pick up those 2 kills in the top jungle. Towards mid lane we go. Is anyone else dead again? No, they're not. Well, there's the engage. And another 2 members fall. That's 2 series of plays now in a row where FPX has kind of lost the plot a bit. It's looking okay. Ends up being a minus 2k Baron power play. Minus 2k. And there's still 13 seconds to go. It can get worse. Minus 2.5k. Oof. Genies give a Baron by NIP. They don't want the team fights to make FPX go to lanes to fight. Yeah. Something to that, right? Like the moment the phalanx is put into place by FPX, it's a lot harder for W7D1 to get involved. Vi dies as she goes to the engage. Like, there's a lot of trickiness there. If it's a split-up fight, NIP have a lot more power. You'd think with a Xin Zhao Gwen, you'd be able to do something about that yourself, but... Been a bit messy. The gold lead suddenly back up to about 4k for NIP. W7D1 will rocket belt the wave. Towards the dragon we go. FPX need to take. It's one of those that be sold to NIP, and giving the likes of a Rumble and an Akali Infernal Soul sounds pretty miserable. Don't do it. Hope Varus too? Yeah, not great. Weaver's Wall comes across, but that Keeper's Verdict sucked. Jway! Dragon secured by Shadow, though. Denies the soul. What about the fight afterwards? Jway will die. The other side, Aki goes on in. Shadow gets the decent Hex Drinker shield. Still not enough. She needs to back away. He's not involved in the fight. W7D1 misses the Shuriken Blip, but it does not matter. A triple to W7D1. Seismic Shuff lands, and Care will be donated over to someone who could use the gold. Leave gets himself a kill. And there goes the Baron. Swimming down the river. Spawned and ready for NIP to start again. 20 seconds on most of the squad of FPX coming back to life, so they're going to try and rush this. Of course, this is an on-hit Varus, not the... Sorry, not on-hit, it's the poke Varus, not the fastest Baron taker. We should still be able to do this with the Rumble easy enough. Shears around. Can we just snip this one out, actually? Needs to be a bit wary. Equalizer down. Solo kill actually in danger now. Throws out the scrap shield. Shear does a decent amount of work, but not quite enough. And Baron should still go the way of NIP. A little overeager there from Shear. Keeper's Verdict. Well shy from Jway. Chains of Corruption lands on his Shadow, who does manage to nab the Dragon. Then the retreat kind of sucked. Jway steps forward with Steadfast Presence to try and block people coming on forward, but Sheer just got burnt alive. The exhaust is too late. Or Helpless Ice Bar is already gone. A flash away keeps solo kill safe, and W7D's given license to go into the other side of the fight as the front line is dead and the fight is scattered and split up. That's now a death cap onto this Akali, who's going towards a Banshee's Veil as well. So double defensive items. Killing this Akali is going to be a nightmare. Gone on forwards there. On to PP God, who flashes away. He's caught in the curtain call. It just all goes wide. You got to be able to hit something there, Assume. Doomby goes golden. Can't quite kill off Assume. Is going to get caught by the Steadfast Presence and dies. Shadow dies on the other side of it, though. It ends up being a 1-for-1. What happened with Doomby there? Did he just not get the R off onto Assume properly? I think he tried to R2, then E back to safety, and didn't manage to get out before things like Steadfast Presences could come up. That was my worry with the Akali this game. That could happen. And that's through Banshee's Veil, Zonya's Merc Treads. Upgraded Merc Treads. Still goes down. That's a nice pickup, though, onto Assume, who will die trying to defend the turret. Jway now in danger as well, alongside Sheer, who's still got a lot of ability to snip someone at some point, but doesn't get to press Q. Aki, with the GA, won't have it popped. Gets to stay alive. Back towards the inhibitor. NIP go. Equalizer down onto Care. Picks him up under the turrets. Nice from solo kill. Jway throws up the Steadfast Presence, but his presence is looking a little thin on the ground. Bit of a wallflower today. Not a wall stunner. And the Nexus falls in favor of NIP in game 1. Multiple of a pairing. Ready to head on to the Rift for game 2. But the crowd's yeah. FPX a little bit more shy on the crowd noises there. Unfortunately, we came on a little late, so might have missed that one. 3 games, please. I need somebody to keep me busy until LEC. Well, Derek, if it goes to 2, I might stream a little bit myself, you know. Already at the level 1, a bit of violence. You love to see it. Jway going to be looking for another hook. Lands it onto Lee. Puts the barrier down. Ignite traded for barrier. Leave is the one with more of his health bar lost. Were those all NIP fans? Yeah, I think they were. Doomby tends to draw a crowd. Also worth noting, I think this is in Shenzhen because it's NIP's home arena. So you have a lot of NIP fans here. It's a bit like, obviously we had the LEC road shows, right? And you're turning up to Madrid. It's like, well, it turns out all the Spanish fans are there. Turn up to Paris and the KC blue wall. Looking more like a blue ocean out there because it's blue everywhere you look. Aki, about to find Shadow in his jungle, puts a ward down. Can look to play this. Comes on over. Bop Shadow with the crushing blow. Smite fight over the blue. Won by Aki. Zenith Blade on in. Leave dashes on forwards. Gets the empowered autos. Doomby now roaming as well. Going to be there first. Hextech Ray on down. Leona's the one that picks up the first one. The flash came on through again. It was too little. Too late. Assume trying to get out of range. Can't drop far enough. Interrupted flash for the auto. Can't quite get it onto Assume. The Ardent Blaze after. It's only the one kill at NIP, but Summon is blown everywhere you care to look. Soon will also be forced to reset here. Goes for the early call. Leaf can head back towards bot lane. His health bar is a lot healthier than the other side for FPX. Let's have a look at that one again. So Aki has the smite. Actually, no, he doesn't have a smite. It's just a failed smite from Shadow. Or the other thing is it might just be a spectator bug, which would make more sense to me, considering I felt like Shadow smited, sorry, that Aki smited during that one. And then Assume is very lucky to get out of here. I actually think Leave needs to flash earlier there. Might have been able to play it from there. So, brief check-in with where the game state is. No grubs or anything yet. Still a couple minutes on that. Calls for both AD carries matching on that front. Not that much more to see. Lee has had a bit of an awkward reset timer there. So is down about 10 CS interestingly for now, but I think we'll have a bit of a wave to pick up here. So that should even up well enough. Fun early game for NIP, but they've not really exploded with it as a result. There's occasional little gold leads here or there, but it's not that significant right now. Still down about 10 CS bot. Must have been the lane swap doing them in a bit. Lince's game 1 against KC, the Vladdy Silas pop-off game. Oh yeah, good memory. What are these no smite invades lately though? I want to say someone in LEC through all tempo trying to do it yesterday on Poppy. Yeah, that's the one. Good memory. That said, NIP are quietly up a decent amount of gold here. 700 odd at this point of the game is pretty good. The Wukong has been happily farming his way through the jungle after the shenanigans went awry. He's now got level 6. Looking to try and threaten bot side. Level 5, assumed down to about half HP. Ignited. Cleanses the ignite. But that means Aki can look for the Cyclone. And the Misfortune. Queen of Nowhere now. Bilgewater looking for a new ruler. Hear this Gangplank guys around. Towards grubs we go. Ship got his maiden on one. The panda doing his work there. Second grub secure, but that is the smite use. It should just be Aki picking up this next one, but Care stepping on forward and threatening it between worlds means Aki has to leave. Call of the pack and the Hound's Pursuit used as well. Forced Aki to flash as the bullet time came on down. So they end up securing all three. Awkward contest there by NIP, but Doinby didn't want to turn up. So he's going to be bot side, shoving that wave out. Weave trading out with Assume here. Trying to clear out this wave. Assume still holding that 10 CS lead. Which is good for him. Should be able to get this plate as well. Oh no, Leave doesn't quite have enough AD to kill off that minion there. Awkward. Should let a second shot come through. And she can't because it's range creep. What am I talking about? Just needing another ability up. Cat eats a fair amount of damage. Gets hit by the Arcane Storm as well there. Doinby will take a turret shot. That's going to force a reset out of Care, who has been pretty comprehensively outlaid by Doinby now 2 games in a row. PP got not quite in time to interrupt the Aurora back. They want to potentially aggressively play for this course, having given up all of the grubs to a Yorick. Could be necessarily the easiest here, but they can look to at least get another plate here. Can't quite stick around as Dwayne, Shadow, and Assume are all on a roam down. Lucian left in the mid lane. That is something you're going to have to get used to. What is that emote? Oh, the Glorp emote. Glorp. Remember, folks, if you don't want to move for grub fights, just tell your team a plate in the hands is worth 2 in the grubs. Nice across the veil. The 2-fold hex times out just out of range of the hex tech ray. Flash, set its blade, flashed into her from Care. Where is the bunny rabbit going? Flee, little bunny rabbit! I think Care's going to try and execute here. Gets the weirding down. Leave. Between worlds. Can look to execute. Oh, the culling! Just in range, and Lucian's given the kill. Oh, Care tried to execute so hard there. Saw Hoya pull it off the other day. We go again. They're missing their mid lane. I don't actually know how much they want this. Flash from Doinby. Did you? I suppose with the Hound's Pursuit behind, could have gotten a bit scary. Shadow swipes away those raptors. Managed to recover a bit in the farm front as well, which is nice for him. Couple camps here for Aki to pick up at some point. Dragons in 45 seconds. Another plate over towards Shit. Who is going to be one of those win con for FPX, especially with the grub secured. Engage comes on down. PP God's in danger. Tries to turn his blade forward and get a bit of damage down south. The Eclipse about to time out. Dies. Dragon secured by Aki. Looking for another Cyclone. Gets a decent shock up Jway. Going to try and find an angle with that depth charge. Can't quite do it. They will kill off the Aurora. The bullet time is good though from Asum with a good flanking angle. Now split off though. 2MB looking for an angle with Lee. Looking to jump onto Asum. He flashes. Double shot. Not enough to bring Asum as Jway now goes full contact. The staggering blows buying some time and will get knocked up. Leave gets that one. It's a 3-for-1. Reset from the side of Shadow gets him to home. But not a great team fight from FPX. Didn't see how Sheer died within it. I think it was Aki who picked him up with the Cyclone. Aurora's walk is so sassy. It is, isn't it? I think it's because she's got the tail. Have a look at this one again. So initially they jump onto PP God, who has an Eclipse. The gravity field's down, so they can't keep stepping on forwards. And PP God throws all his CC out, does die. But then Aki just gets to Cyclone everyone. And then flashes on out as Shadow goes forwards. Does eventually go down here. And that's all well and good. So there's the 2 kills. However, Sheer is left to die over to solo kill. Leave gets one, Gumby gets one. It's a 3-for-2 plus Dragon for their IP. So on the whole, favored 2. Honestly, thought that MF ult was going to be way more valuable. Aurora is goofy. She has her moments. She's got that weird kind of noise that she makes. It's quite entertaining. Thank you for telling me to get hydrated, by the way, Amber. I should actually get some more water. I've got coffee, but it's not water. I'll do that after this game. In comes the culling. Assume in danger, but turn over the bullet time! Does a lot of work. Assuming stuck in the Arcane Storm, though, should surely die and does do so. 2MB gets his ult upgraded. Second one then onto the Aurora. Shadow having to back away. Leave with the barrier survives well enough. Almost like a wonderful angle. Monkey Meatloaf. That sounds like a scary meatloaf. Thank you for the follow, though. Is it a meatloaf for monkeys? Or a meatloaf made out of monkeys? I scream for I do not know. Tier 1 mid-force. Oh, good to see you. XDD. One of the rats I see. Assume interrupted enough that they can just run at him. And then that gives license to jump onto Care, and he dies too. Bit of an engage comes on forwards. And everyone dies. Free the nip. Oh boy. It's what we used to call when IP when they messed up a nip slip. I'm not even joking. Technically behind Yorick with Grubs is just a W for health, for W for Sion. Yeah, maybe true. Lots of sad cat noises. No way FPX getting swept, right? I don't know, it's looking quite like it right now. NIP have been on a real downward trajectory, but a switch in solo lane has really brought some life back to this roster. Still not sold on Aki. Care. Forced to run away a bit there. Is again down 30 CS to Doomby somehow. Fight over the red buff. PP God goes on forward. CC on a Dway. Bullet time comes on down, but PP God at this point isn't carrying all that much. Culling gets the kill over the Leaf. Flash on forward from Aki, looking to get onto Care, who does blast cones too early. Crushing blow. Not going to be there. Care gets out to safety. Leave now 306. Yeah, that's a nasty looking Lucian. No rapid fire, pure damage with the Infinity Edge solo kill. Going to be forced to retreat off that one. Morning Mist lands. I actually think Solo Kill could be in danger here. He's going to be forced to ult away to safety. Shadow. Think he'll be in range to ult. I think it'll be a bit risky anyway. I'm not sure he quite has the burn to bring down the Scion. Down goes the Maid of the Mist. Unfortunate stuff. NIP with a 67%. Win chance says 66.9. 9? Not quite. No, it's 6.9. Atakan looks like it will be NIPs for the taking. Hey, Lorindy, good to see you. Is that the Boxer versus the Tech Nation? One comes with damage, the other comes with toolbox. Yeah. Yeah. Doomby having to resort to not having to resort to bagging more like in Split 1. He's playing meta kind of well. Yeah, exactly, which is good news. Like, if he's playing Victor, if he's playing Akali, that's good news. I think his Rise is still genuinely scary. I need to see him look passable on things like Talir again. What else am I missing? His Galio's still solid. I don't know about his Yone. That's one that's potentially a big deal. Oh, Assumed got wrecked! Leave, might die for this. Just get traded 1-for-1, but the damage is already done. They had to full send for it. Shear's now turned up, but in comes Solo Kill. Shadow will eviscerate away from the Scion ult. Well, there's that attempted engagement to assume Dway did his best to body block for it. And did not quite manage. So, a minute until next dragon. 2.5 items done on pretty much everyone you care to look at NIP. At least most of the 2 items are done for FPX. That's good news. Not there in the mid lane, though. Care once again finds himself a ways behind Curve. The Lucian's also managed to pick himself up some additional steel caps where the Misfortunes had to stick on the free ass boots he's getting courtesy of runes. Care gets that turret. Way engaged onto, flash away. Care should have an across the veil available. We'll use it. PP God now going to look for an ult. Flash the Zenith Blade, flash in turn, away from Care. Still looking for an angle. Colin goes wide. Aki now looking to get on top of Asu, who eats so much damage. My days! That Wukong is just so strong. Leave survives on the other side. Aki gets another. Never give that man Wukong. He's had a rough old time of it, Aki. It was not what people were hoping for last year. This year he's on NIP, well, alongside who should have been his OMG 2023 top laner in Shanji. Shanji's gone, but Aki back on the Wukong. I think his most iconic champion. 6-1-5 is such a menace at this point in the game. Dennis incapable of equaling him right now. He's just a Wukong OTP. Sometimes feels that way, doesn't it? He's so good on that champion, though.
将吞噬一切。
Well, Shadow now in danger. Needs to be a little wary. I hear solo kill ulting. Bot side of the map, that one's occurring. Soul's been picked up by NIP. Elder's in 4.5. Baron is up. She is just dead in a solo kill. 2 solo kill as a Yorick. Oh dear, it's all falling apart now, isn't it? They finally bring Aki down, but not before losing 2 over to the Lucian. It's got flicker blades on top of everything else now. Again, no rapid fire. Who needs that on Lucian? Damage. It's all you need. More abilities. Solo kill heads on to the tier 2. Shadow's going to clear out this wave, I imagine. Solo kill has a soul furnace. It pops on the dogs. Gets a decimating smash off. Shadow's going to continue trying to trade here. Calls the dogs back with a W. Hound's pursuit. Darkin daggers. Second Darkin dagger stacks everything else. Trying to get as much value down as he can. Solo kill running back away towards the wave. Gets a soul furnace. 2MB's teleporter. Then looking for the decimating smash. Gets the slow. 2MB looking for the hex tech ray. Can't quite find it. And Shadow hops over the wall. Teleport blown to keep the solo laner alive. I love Leave having the balls to consistently go Navori. It's a very ballsy build. No safety in this one. It's all damage, all hands. Don't mess it up. Here we go. Gets a big smash. Ult as well. Sheer's dead again. Doomby. Trading out here. Onto the tier 3 we go. The Ninjas in Pajamas are making it look a little easy here, aren't they? Solar Flare down. On the other side, Shadow will press W to no avail. Leave hops on forward, Ardent Blaze, double auto. Lands him onto the dogs awkwardly. Well, there goes the Baron start. Shadows around. No ult, no flash. Very hard to get over here. Doomby, PP God, and Sheer. Well, zoning everyone out and Baron is down. Nice play from NIP. Two-man the Baron. Everyone else plays body block. Shadow, good call of the pack. Denies the Zenith Blade. In comes solo kill. Flash onto Assume, decimating smash. And the Arcane Storm and Nimber Strike crushing blow brings the Misfortune down again. Cyclone after. And both procs knock up 3. The Arcane Storm continues to fly across the map. No safety to be found in its eye. Just more damage. Nexus turret 1 and 2 fall. Ninjas in Pajamas make it look easy in game 2. FPX, humbled by their former mid laner, they zoom immediately in on Doomby's big old grin. NIP back to their winning ways. They had a rough mid part of the split, an 8-series loss streak. Change the top lane when suddenly things are looking a lot